What's going on YouTube? Gary here, gzduels, here to bring you guys a pre-recorded match between my Stardust Assault Mode deck and my opponent who's playing some Chaos Dragons. As you guys know, I do have a really good matchup against Chaos Dragons, and I wanted to show you guys just how great it is with Electric Virus. I opened up really broken, so I'm going to use the Garbage Ogre's effect to search for the Garbage Lord from my deck. If you guys can see already ahead of time, my hand, basically the 6 cards that I drew, allows me to go for a first turn Stardust Assault Mode plus a Stardust Radiance Dragon, so it's pretty plus. So yeah, I'm going to go for the first turn Stardust Assault Mode first. So I'm going to Special Summon the Flame Swordsman, and then going to Emergency Call the Psychic Commander, and then I'm going to Synchro Summon for the Stardust Dragon. I decided not to I decided to use the Tenki first of all to search for the Scrap Goblin, because I didn't want to search for the I didn't want to give too much information away just yet. I want him to think, he's just playing a Stardust deck. Nah, I'm playing something way better than a Stardust deck. Okay, so I'm going to Synchro Summon for the Radiance Dragon, of course. Since I didn't normal summon, my Scrap Goblin was the normal summon. And then I'm going to use the Tenki finally to search for the Assault Beast, and then use Assault Beast effect in order to search for the Stardust, in order to search for the Assault Mode activate. So basically first turn, this is pretty broken. If my opponent tries to destroy me with effects, I can use Stardust Assault Mode in order to negate it. If he tries to destroy Stardust Assault Mode using battle, I can use Stardust Radiance Dragon in order to protect him as well. So basically almost unstoppable. So standby phase, I'm going to use the Assault Mode activate in order to special summon the Stardust Assault Mode from my deck. And my opponent basically can't do anything. I really wanted to test on Dueling Network nowadays, because on Dev Pro I realized, because it's so automated, it makes me lazy. It makes me unable to catch certain things that my opponent does, or in real life, for example, when they have different ruling questions. I wanted to face more ruling questions. That's one. I don't mind the dispute. Sometimes it's okay. But sometimes, like now, if you guys can see, he's trying to use Red MD's effect in order to special summon the Dark Flare without saying activate effect. So on Dev Pro, of course, this is not going to happen. But on Duel Network, it forces you to be more aware of what your opponent's doing and interact with your opponent. So when he says, yes, I'm using Red MD's effect, I'm going to negate that. If I wasn't as aware as I was, then, he might have gotten away with it, which is, not a good thing. And this, of course, happens in real life. You have to keep track of life points. You have to know what your opponent's doing. You have to agree with the face changes and stuff. So definitely good practice when you're going to a tournament to test on Dueling Network and not Dev Pro. I guess Dev Pro is basically a preliminary area where you test your deck when you really don't know how the mechanics work and you can't remember all the monster effects. That's when I guess you use Dev Pro. Okay, as you guys can see, I drew into my level 3 tuner, and I'm going to Synchro Summon for Stardust, and altogether their attacks amount to 8,000 damage, so I basically win first game. Yeah, so yeah, stay tuned for game 2, guys. What's going on YouTube? Gary here, gzduels. Welcome back to game 2. I'm still using some Stardust Assault Mode, and my opponent's playing some Chaos Dragons, and I sided in these Electric Viruses against my opponent. I took out basically Mystical Space Typhoon because Chaos Dragons don't have a lot of back row, so I find that that's no use. So he's going to use Solar Recharge in order to try to discard stuff, and he's going to set one card, probably a Raikou. I'm pretty sure it's a Raikou, and he's going to end his turn off. I draw into Gores. I don't know, recently I don't like Gores in this deck, especially because I have Tenki, and I need Tenki in order to get to pieces. And Gores basically can't be used when I have Tenki. So I was thinking of definitely taking it out, maybe for a Swift Scarecrow or something like that. And so I'm going to go for the first turn Stardust. I'm going to normal summon the Goblin. And then he chains Maxi. And I feel like that's a bad move. He should have used Maxi during the effect where I used the Junk Ogre in order to search for the Junk Lord. That way he would have gotten +2 if I went out with my play. But if he did that, I would just, end my turn because I would have just used Gores. And if you guys did notice, I did use Tenki and I searched for a Assault Mode Activate instead of for the Assault Beast, which we'll get to the Assault Mode Activate. So I did kind of a misplay right there. I'm sorry. But yeah, I go for the first turn, and then he's going to use Dark Hole. So I'm going to use the effect of Stardust Assault Mode, and he's going to use Raikou. I think he basically wants to mill, but he somehow wanted to destroy my Tenki as well, which I think is a bad move, especially when you think your opponent might have Gores and you're trying to OTK your opponent basically. I think that's what he wants to do, but he's not going to have enough firepower because I do have Gores, which is fortunate for me. In Gores' place, I think I want to put in the Swift Scarecrow. I definitely don't want to put in Tragodia because I burn through a lot of resources in my hand. So if you see, if Gores right now was a Tragodia, then it wouldn't have been too great. Like I would still have suffered a lot of damage. But Swift Scarecrow is definitely good. So he's gonna use Pot of Avarice, and he's gonna return all 5 of his monsters in the graveyard in order to draw 2 cards. He's gonna shuffle twice just in case. I think he wants to draw into as many cards as possible, maybe normal summon something in order to try to finish off me. But unfortunately, I don't think he drew into anything good, so he's just going to attack directly. So I'm going to take the 200 from Raikou and the 2/4 from the Dark Flare. And then I'm going to drop Gores because I don't want to take the 2/5. I know I'll lose the token, but I want to have the 2,000, at least more than 2,000 life points, so that in case I draw into a Junk Lord, I would be able to special summon the Junk Lord by paying 2,000 life points. So end phase, my Stardust Assault Mode comes back, and I draw into Krebons, which is crazy awesome because I can just steal his Light Pulsar instead of his Dark Flare. Of course, if you guys know, if I had taken his Light Pulsar, if I didn't take his Light Pulsar and I took his Dark Flare, his Light Pulsar will be able to save the Dark Flare once the Light Pulsar goes into the graveyard. So I'm just going to use that in order to synchro summon for a Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader is definitely good against Chaos Dragons. And I will attack first with the Stardust Assault Mode, just in case he uses Honest. And he didn't use Honest, which is awesome. And then I'm going to attack with Crimson Blader, because when Crimson Blader destroys an opponent's monster by battle, that opponent cannot special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn, which is really detrimental for Chaos Dragons. And basically he has no response. His back row is probably a MST or something. My opponent's turn, he really can't do much. He summons Tour Guide, and I'm just going to negate Tour Guide's effect with Stardust Assault Mode. And yeah, I think that was his last push, and he couldn't special summon any level 5 or higher monsters, so he surrenders. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. This is Gary, gzduel, signing out.